The Jim and Terry Show, back in the Hobbit hole after 2 weeks off. And Jim can see clearly now.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Actually, you drove in the rain, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, it rained all the way here. I was concerned about it turning to ice.
Did you think that your eyes were watering, or what was your perception?
Well, one thing I have
blurry?
noticed with my new eyes is the confidence in driving is way improved.
It's a good
Remember
thing.
I used to tell you I had a rough time? My
Yep.
windows were so tinted, backing up in the dark of the night.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be much of a problem anymore, Terry.
Do you wear those special yellow tinted night vision glasses?
No. It's just that now my eyes are fixed.
How's your night sensitivity then? Can you still you're okay at night?
Don't forget this is brand new. I haven't
right.
even,
So
I haven't
they
even,
need.
Tomorrow will be a week since I had my.
And what do they say? A month or more?
Oh, months.
At least a month.
To really. Yeah, 4 weeks of drops, 3 weeks do not rub your eye, that kind of thing.
You had an eye
and that's
patch
just
for the
being
first day?
extra cautious. What's that?
Eye patch for the first
For
day
first
or
5
two?
days.
5 days.
Yeah, not outside. Just when you wear the eye patch home. That's what you do.
And
You
keep
keep
it
that on. You wear it home, and then when you get home, you can take it off, or at least that's how I understood it. So I took it off.
Oh, so it's for the brightness of the outside light.
Yeah, and you have sunglasses they provide.
Okay.
So you've got a shield over your eye plus sunglasses on.
Right.
Now that shield you're to put on when you go to bed or even lay down for a nap. You put that on for for 5 days. I didn't wear it last night, and I seemed fine. You put that on for 5 days. So I'm finished with that. At the end, I'll use Saturday as my day one. The first week's gone, and I take one complete set of drops away, and the other one is only once a day. Each of them are one a day. 3 times a day, 2 times a day, 1 a day. Finished.
Is medication covered by OHIP?
Well, I don't know. I paid $5,000 for this.
Right, but did you get the medicine through whatever service?
Well,
using?
they included in they give you a bag.
So
they give you a kit.
Okay.
I got 2 of those kits, and thank goodness because I ran out of medicine for the one, but I had saved the other one.
Right.
So I just used it to finish up this week. 2 more days.
Right.
And then that's done, and I won't need it anymore. Anyways, it was worth it to me. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to need. It's frustrating because I got to learn a pattern of reading glasses. I remember I had glasses on all the time, so there wasn't no major adjustment picking up my phone and looking at it. Now if I look at my phone, I can see it, but if I really want to see it, I need reading glasses. And that's what they said. You're only going to need reading glasses.
Right.
So I plan to have just a half a dozen dollar store glasses around the house.
Right, for the different magnifications.
And I don't need it to function.
2.
Like if I go shopping, I don't need my reading unless I want to read the fine print on a label or something.
Right.
I'm fine with seeing everything.
Oh, that's great.
And TV's wonderful now, beautiful
Is it
colors.
3D?
And the fine print, the fine print which I
yeah.
missed for all these years.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Wow.
How annoying. No, I can see that.
Well, we're going to see eye to eye, maybe.
Yeah.
Finally, after all these years. Speaking of seeing eye to eye and asking you about what's covered by OHIP, that's where I'd like to just go swing a little bit through Ontario, maybe through Canada, maybe a detour through Calgary and Edmonton, Alberta, and revisit Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson and the Danielle Smith staging an anti-Trudeau rally in those cities in the West, and talk about how things are shaping up in terms of Canada. The F. Trudeau crowd, are they settling down or are they being agitated? Is there a Convoy 2.0 that's making its way to Ottawa this year for an anniversary?
Oh, God, I hope not.
I don't know.
Listen, I do believe that they have a right to protest. I think everybody does. But park your trucks, go to the thing and protest, have your flags, all the rest of it, then go home.
Right, park your trucks, take transit into the downtown core.
Yeah, but don't be calling for the impeachment of the prime minister and everything. It's not going to happen. You're just being an irritant, and don't do that. But you have a right to believe what you want to believe, and get all excited about it if that's what you want to get excited about.
Now,
I think the best way to show your protest is just at the ballot box.
Well, let's start with the ruling by a federal court justice on a case that said yes or no. Did the Trudeau government exceed its constitutional limits when they enacted the Emergencies Act? The judge ruled they did.
I know it. Isn't it funny? Because, you see, here's where I'm proud of myself. All right?
Okay.
Well, no.
I'm proud of you too, my
but
friend.
listen, this is how things should be in the calm world of collective thinking. I'm a conservative. I really am. I'm not a woke. I'm not a progressive. I'm not. I'm conservative. But I think he was right in doing what he's doing. He did. But I'm not going to go protest the judge saying that he jumped the gun. He acted too soon. I don't know where that judge is coming from, quite frankly. For what I saw, he didn't do it soon enough. You know, this had to be stopped. It cost billions of dollars to the country, affecting all the country for the sake of protest.
Well, you got the key point there. Is to use the Emergencies Act, it has to affect the whole country.
And it was affecting the whole country. I don't even know if it ever bounced back from the economic disaster, which was not going to go away. I mean, they blocked the bridge with no intentions of not blocking the bridge. The police had to come and get them out of there. And one of the only ways they could do that is like through, War Measures Act. We got to open the borders. We need this trade. So I thought he did well. I thought he did right on it. And I don't understand the judge.
Well, there are a couple of things. I've looked into it a bit, so I sort of get the ruling. Number one, there is the right to take the government to court. That's a right. And the Canadian equivalent of the Civil Liberties Union in the United States, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, or whatever they call their moniker, has the right to say, we think that you are wrong. And we think you went too far. And we would like to prove that in court.
Yep.
It's your right. And in a democracy, this is the way it goes down. Now, it is also the right of the government to take that ruling to an appeal court, to the Supreme Court of Canada.
Are they doing that?
And they're doing that. Chrystia Freeland announced that. So this is democracy.
I think they should. And it is democracy.
It is
and
democracy.
Let the dice land where they're going to land.
Right. You won round one, and let's see if it holds up with a multitude of judges on the Supreme Court bench as opposed to a single judge ruling. Yeah. But if you read the ruling, there's a key phrase that I think it's underreported from what I surveyed in terms of media and Canadian media especially. And that's this one line. The judge in his ruling, and it's written down so you can see it. If I was in the room, this is sort of an interpretation, I don't know the exact words. If I was in the room with the cabinet making that decision at that time, I would have agreed. That's in the ruling.
Well, there you go.
But he said, I had to answer this question. Was there any other law or any other process that could have been invoked outside, apart from reaching that level of the Emergencies Act? And the answer to that was, yes, there was. There's something Ontario could have done. There's something all the levels of policing could have done. But they didn't. And that's where I got stuck. But they didn't. The answer to your question is, yes, there's lots of stuff that they could have done.
But if you're not going to do
they didn't do it. And I look at Ontario, and who's there? Ford.
Well, Ford was against the protest.
He was against them. But you don't want to rankle, what's your base? It's like MAGA. What's your base? Do you want to upset them?
I don't know. He went there showing his disapproval.
Didn't do anything. OPP was not sent. The only time OPP and RCMP showed up was when the Emergencies Act was invoked, and all of a sudden you saw.
Okay, well, maybe you're right on that. As I said,
so
I'm
a little hesitant about that. Conservative government, Ford, not really supporting. So what is the federal government supposed to do? What about the municipal level? To what extent did they give a permit for this thing and it's all lawful? Well, who gave the permits and what were the conditions, and did they violate the conditions? There's so much to investigate.
Yeah, can I have a permit to go talk to the children and then go there naked? No, I'm sorry. There's exceptions to all the rules.
Yeah.
You may have a permit, but you can't do it's like that they said in the States when talk about free speech. No, you're free to speak, but not about everything, because you could cause people to die.
Yes.
So you got to use how do you say it in English? Common sense.
It is
common sense.
uncommon sense. The House of Uncommon Sense
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of the House of Commons.
Yeah, so I heard that ruling, and I was surprised at it. I'm glad they're appealing it.
Yeah, look for it to be appealed, and my bet is that it's going to be overturned.
I would think.
You can't judge a situation on the basis of what you know now when you had to make the decision then.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And the fact that there was inaction on so many levels and probably collusion. I don't want to bring this up, but how many police officers at the local and provincial levels, maybe even at the national level, the RCMP, actually supported the convoy?
Well, they're only human. And
they're entitled to have an opinion.
But you'll recall way back, and I don't know where it was before this convoy even entered Ontario, I said they've lost it.
Yes.
They've lost control
Yes.
of this, and it's just going to go to the wackos, which it did. In my opinion. I'm sorry for all of you
Tamara
who
Leach was in
supported
charge of it from the beginning, I
That's
think.
how I
So
feel.
if she got out of it, I don't know if her trial's been resolved yet either. I think that she's still got a court hearing pending a year later.
She's probably made $150,000 in her pocket from people sending her money. I mean, every time Trump shows his face, he gets tens of millions of dollars.
I
from
don't know
donors.
what money is being exchanged. There was a phrase being used by the right on this, debanked. That was made at the Calgary conference. Anyway, I'm going to finish up with a summation of... Well, I wanted to say two things. The anti-Trudeau, F-Trudeau crowd, I'm really not sure about you, and here's the reason why. All the big living leaders, prime ministers of the Conservative parties, so we're talking about Brian Mulroney, Joe Clark, out of prime ministers of his own party, Jean Chrétien, all support Trudeau and what he did. And the best speech, I sent you a link to it, I've ever seen, was delivered by Brian Mulroney, whom I'm no fan of.
No, you don't like him.
But he called the shots correctly when he talked about how did Canada get through this pandemic better than 90-some-odd% of the whole world, better than the United States, better than the UK, just about better than anybody. Canada came through it, and he credits Trudeau and the Liberals for getting us through.
Well, I told you I thought he did good on that.
Yes.
And I still think he did good on that in a real rough time. I think Ford did too. But
Yeah, we'll disagree on that. I think Ford opened up way too soon.
I understand that people are not going to think that way, because especially those who believe in the conspiracy that we didn't need shots, it wasn't a pandemic.
I blame Taylor Swift.
That's her fault. It is.
All right, take care of the Jim and Terry Show.
Dare her
Signing
be
off
so
Canadian
good-looking
politics.
and
Bye-bye.
talented and rich.